Chosen one, the angels have started moving. Align with God now, chosen one. Something is happening. The atmosphere around you is shifting. You feel it, don't you? The silence isn't empty, it's electric. Heaven is not quiet. It's positioning. And now, the angels have started moving. This is your sign to align. Everything is about to change. Chosen one. Something powerful has shifted. You may not see it with your physical eyes just yet, but in the realm you cannot see, the movement has already begun. The stillness you've been feeling was not stagnation. It was divine positioning. Heaven has not been silent. It's been strategic. And now, the angels have started to move. Assigned messengers are no longer waiting. They are already walking ahead, clearing paths, redirecting storms, opening doors, and positioning divine connections. What was delayed is catching wind. What was locked is being unlocked. What was hidden is now being revealed. You've entered a moment that requires sensitivity, obedience, and alignment, because what's in motion now is sacred. And you, yes you, are part of the unfolding. Chosen one, this is the moment to remain in alignment, the moment to stay close to God, the moment to quiet the noise of the world and tune into the sound of the Spirit. The movement is happening behind the scenes, and it's not chaotic, it's intentional. The angels are not flying in confusion, they're being dispatched with precision. And in this moment, while you watch this message, I encourage you to stay until the end. Let your heart stay open. And if this speaks to you, write in the comments your warmest, heartfelt wishes and the number 99. This is a chapter about wishes coming true and energizing the universe. But it starts with spiritual alignment. The reason you're feeling shifts in your energy, restlessness in your spirit, or unexpected urges to change directions is not random. Heaven's activity is pressing into your earthly timeline. It's almost like a whisper from the unseen realm, nudging you to pay attention. The old season is no longer sustainable. Your former patterns won't carry you through this next divine unfolding. There's a call now, not just to act, but to align. Alignment is deeper than movement. Anyone can move, but only the aligned walk in sync with divine timing. Only the aligned hear the call and step at the right moment. Angels don't waste energy. They act when the signal is sent. And you, chosen one, are being prompted now to prepare yourself the same way. You may have been wondering why certain doors were closed so suddenly, why certain people drifted, why plans crumbled that once felt promising. It wasn't rejection, it was divine redirection. The angels saw what you couldn't. They knew what was coming, and their wings began to stir the winds before you ever felt them blow. That restlessness wasn't confusion, it was preparation. God wasn't punishing you, He was preserving you. He's always been 2 steps ahead. And now, the angelic activity is confirming what your spirit has been trying to tell you. It's time to go deeper, time to rise higher, time to walk in sync. Heaven isn't casual about your life. God is not experimenting, He's orchestrating. And part of this orchestration involves supernatural agents, angels, who carry out divine assignments. They don't move unless the command is given. So if they're moving now, something has been approved in heaven. A new season, a new level, a new provision. But here's what you need to know. The alignment is not automatic. It's intentional. That's why you feel the inner call to let go of things, to remove distractions, to get quiet in spirit. Because you can't run with angels if you're still weighed down by what no longer serves your purpose. You've been called to more, and that calling is echoing louder because the timing has arrived. Chosen one, hear this clearly. There is divine strategy unfolding, and you are not being left out. You are being positioned. That person who unexpectedly came back into your life, that opportunity that looked small but felt significant, that dream that just came alive again. Those aren't coincidences. They are confirmations, signs that the angels are already influencing things on your behalf. You don't have to chase what's yours. You just have to stay in alignment. The flow of heaven never struggles. It simply requires obedience. Don't be surprised if you suddenly lose interest in certain things. That's not boredom. It's spiritual maturity. Heaven is pruning you for clarity. The noise has to fade so the message can get through. And in that silence, you'll start hearing what the angels already know. Your steps are being guided. Your name is being spoken in heavenly circles. Your next move is being supported by forces that operate in dimensions you cannot see. What felt like silence was strategy. What felt like absence was alignment. Now it's time for action. And not just any action, divine action, purposeful steps, spirit-led decisions, no longer driven by fear, no longer seduced by hurry, but led by something far more powerful, divine timing. When you are in sync with God, things that used to feel heavy suddenly move with ease. Conversations open up, paths light up, people align. That's the power of angelic activity. It goes before you, prepares the way, and invites you to step into what's already blessed. You were never meant to carry the weight of destiny alone. That's why heaven sends help. That's why angels move. They aren't here to entertain. They're here to assist, defend, guide, and accelerate. But your part is crucial. You must be sensitive. You must remain faithful. You must trust that just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it's not unfolding. Chosen one, this is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to doubt your intuition. This is not the time to second-guess what you feel in your soul. You didn't make it this far just to stop now. You didn't endure the silence, the setbacks, the suffering, just to quit before the shift. The angels are not confused. They are moving with clarity, and so must you. This is only the beginning. You must understand, the spiritual realm is not still. It's never been still. But when it begins to accelerate in your direction, your responsibility is to discern the shift and respond accordingly. The angels don't wait for you to be perfect. They move when you're ready to listen. The key is not performance, it's posture. Not striving, but surrender. When you posture your heart in obedience, when your spirit is humble and alert, you become interruptible by the divine. You allow heaven to reroute you, reposition you, and release what you never knew you needed. There's a sacred urgency in the air right now. Not the kind that leads to panic, but the kind that stirs awakening. It's a prompting in your spirit, a knowing that something is approaching. You may not know the exact details, but you feel the momentum building. And here's what you must grasp. Just because your hands are still doesn't mean heaven is. There is angelic activity happening on your behalf, and though your feet are on the ground, your destiny is being shaped in the clouds. Right now, the divine is watching your response. Will you hesitate, or will you prepare? Will you complain, or will you cooperate? Because this next move requires your agreement. The angels are not here to carry your whole life for you. They are here to partner with you. When your heart aligns with heaven's heartbeat, something supernatural happens. Your timing meets God's timing. And in that moment, miracles happen. The divine signs are everywhere. Timed encounters, strange peace in the middle of chaos, dreams that seem too vivid to be random, reminders that seem to appear when your faith begins to weaken. These are not accidents, these are divine nudges. Heaven uses every channel to communicate when urgency arises. So when you see signs repeating, it's not just coincidence, it's communication. It's spiritual traffic guiding you toward divine timing. If you've felt the need to isolate lately, it's not depression, it's separation for revelation. Heaven often silences the world so you can hear clearly. When the angels begin to move, you are often called to stillness so that your distractions don't drown out the instructions. God doesn't just want you to see the shift. He wants you to understand your role in it. You're not a spectator. You're a participant in something supernatural. Let's speak plainly. Some people around you won't understand this season. They'll think you've changed, that you're distant, that you're harder to reach. But you're not distant. You're dedicated. You're not isolating. You're aligning. When angels start moving, you can't stay bound to normal rhythms. You must elevate. And often, elevation begins with separation. It's not personal, it's purposeful. You are being drawn higher for a reason. You are being tuned to a frequency that the crowd cannot hear. Chosen one, don't be afraid of the quiet. In the quiet, the divine often reveals the loudest truths. And when the angels are moving, their footsteps may not be thunderous, but they are unstoppable. They shift people. They collapse obstacles. They influence decisions. They gather favor in rooms where your name is mentioned. And they prepare people's hearts to receive what you've been called to give. This isn't random timing. This is ordained alignment. The things that are resurfacing in your heart, the forgotten ideas that are being awakened, the courage that's creeping back in, that's not nostalgia. That's activation. You're not being haunted by the past. You're being readied for the future. Heaven is not letting you rest in old roles because new ones are being written for you. And when you align, you start to notice how heaven subtly starts to shift things in your favor. Doors open smoother. The weight feels lighter. Divine assistance becomes obvious. You were created for this shift. You were made for this window in time. All that refining, all that inner wrestling, it wasn't wasted. It made you ready. And now, as angelic forces begin to surround your life, don't question why you. Question why not you. You've endured enough to know what pain feels like. Now it's time you understand what purpose feels like. This is not the time to revert to what's comfortable. This is the moment to step fully into what's consecrated. Every time you delay your alignment, you delay your assignment. And this assignment cannot afford another delay. The angels aren't slowing down. The movement has begun. The call has gone out. You're not just being called out of your old life. You're being ushered into your divine one. The illusion of control is being stripped away, not to leave you empty, but to make room for divine movement. As long as your fists are closed, trying to grip what no longer fits your destiny, your hands cannot receive what heaven is trying to give you. Surrender is the greatest strength in this season. When you yield, you create space for the miraculous. Chosen one, the shift is sacred. The movement is here. The question is, are you still clinging to the version of you that heaven has already outgrown, or are you ready to walk in the identity the angels already recognize? Heaven sees you as ready. The movement says, now. The angels are already moving. What's your next move? There's something sacred happening in the silence. You may have noticed it. Things around you are quieter, slower, almost unnaturally still, and yet your spirit feels louder than ever. That's not by accident. When the angels begin moving, the first shift isn't around you. It's within you. The voice that's been trying to get your attention for months is finally rising to the surface. The whispers that once sounded like doubts are actually signals. Clarity is emerging in the space where confusion used to reign. You're not going backwards, even when it feels like nothing is progressing. You're being recalibrated. The most powerful shifts never begin with applause. They begin in isolation. That's where your character gets tested. That's where your heart is refined. That's where distractions fall away and truth becomes undeniable. Chosen one, don't mistake this season of quiet obedience as insignificance. Heaven is not waiting for a crowd to validate you. Heaven is waiting for your surrender. The angels don't respond to noise. They respond to alignment. And your alignment is what unlocks the unseen help that changes everything. Some of the things you once prayed for would have crushed the version of you from last season. But you've grown. You've outlasted the valley. You've matured through silence. And now, what was delayed can be safely delivered. Because heaven has confirmed that your heart is finally ready to carry the weight of this next mission. The angels were not sent for your convenience. They were released to assist with your assignment. And that means it's time to walk in the fullness of what's been placed inside of you. But here's the truth. Alignment demands release. You cannot be aligned with God and still anchored to what's been breaking you. This is the season to release the guilt, to release the timelines, to release the pressure to prove your worth. You were never created to force what heaven intends to flow. When the angels are moving, the burden isn't yours to carry alone. You're not being asked to build this miracle with human hands. You're being asked to follow divine momentum. The feeling that something is about to happen is not your imagination. It's spiritual sensitivity. You are perceiving movement that hasn't yet manifested in the natural. You're hearing echoes of heaven's plans before the doors open. That's a gift. That's favor. That's confirmation that your spirit is awake. And if your spirit is awake, then your posture must reflect it. You're no longer sleepwalking through life. You are stepping with intention, with clarity, with divine timing, guiding every move. You've probably noticed certain things falling away without resistance. Conversations ending, opportunities disappearing, plans changing. Don't grieve what God is removing. Heaven only takes what's keeping you from seeing clearly. The angels are moving to clear your path, not clutter it. And if something is leaving, it means it was never meant to stay in the version of you that's rising. The people who are meant to go with you won't need to be chased. They'll arrive in alignment. This season isn't about popularity, it's about purpose. The crowd will come later, but clarity comes now. And clarity doesn't shout. It whispers. It requires silence. It requires stillness. It requires trust. The angels are preparing things for you behind the veil. Rooms are being arranged. Hearts are being stirred. Contracts are being written. Paths are being leveled. The movement you're sensing is real, and it's time you align with it fully. You're not being asked to understand every step. You're being asked to take the next one. Heaven isn't requiring you to map out the entire journey. Heaven is inviting you to trust the one who sent the angels in the first place. If you could see what's already being orchestrated in your favor, you wouldn't hesitate. You wouldn't delay. You wouldn't fear. You'd walk boldly, knowing that the supernatural has already gone before you. The shift is not coming. It's here. The season you used to beg for is unfolding, even now. But your ability to recognize it is what separates the aligned from the unaware. Chosen one, don't sleep through this activation. Don't dismiss the signs. because they look unfamiliar. The divine doesn't always speak in thunder. Sometimes the message is hidden in the moment you almost ignored. You are walking into a divine acceleration. The pace of heaven is quickening. And if your spirit is aligned, you won't feel overwhelmed. You'll feel carried. That's what happens when the angels move in harmony with your assignment. They don't just remove barriers, they lift burdens. They bring confirmation. They speak through strangers. They prompt breakthroughs. And most importantly, they remind you that you are never alone in this. If you've been asking for a sign, this is it. You are not too late. You have not missed it. The angels are not behind. They are already ahead. But heaven is waiting on your yes, your deep yes, the one that comes from surrender, not striving. The one that says, I trust, even when you can't yet trace the path. The one that whispers, I'm ready, even through trembling hands. Because when your yes meets God's move, nothing can stop what's been ordained for your life. This is where many miss it, not because they didn't want it, not because they weren't called, but because they didn't recognize the timing. Chosen one, timing is everything in the kingdom. The angels don't move early. They don't move late. They move at the divine signal, in the precise moment when alignment and readiness intersect. That intersection is where miracles meet motion. That's where breakthrough lives. That's where the supernatural begins to accelerate the natural. And you are standing at that intersection right now. You might feel like your life has been at a standstill. But in truth, you've been on pause only because the stage needed setting. When angels are in motion, it's not just about speed, it's about preparation. God isn't rushing your breakthrough. He's aligning it with purpose. The delay you thought was denial was actually divine delay to make sure every piece was where it needed to be. The person, the place, the timing, the condition of your heart, it all had to align. And now, it finally is. Look closer. The atmosphere around you is shifting. The air feels different. The days are carrying a new rhythm. Your spirit is more sensitive. You're more protective of your energy. Less interested in small talk. More drawn to peace. More connected to purpose. That's the fruit of alignment. That's the evidence that something sacred is pulling you into divine proximity. And the angels, they're not just circling your destiny, they're reinforcing it. They're protecting what's about to birth. They're cutting off what you didn't even know was draining you. They are heaven's messengers, yes, but also heaven's guardians, heaven's builders, heaven's carriers of momentum. When they start moving, it means God is no longer letting you wait in the wilderness. You're being ushered into manifestation. You're being summoned into fullness. The shadows are lifting. The silence is breaking. This is why distractions are increasing. This is why temptations are louder. This is why doubt tries to sneak in when you're alone. Because the enemy knows what's coming. He sees the angels have moved. He sees that favor is near. And if he can't stop it, he'll try to make you sabotage it. Don't take the bait. Don't go back to what broke you just because it's familiar. Don't give up your alignment for temporary validation. You're too close. You're too valuable. You've come too far. Heaven didn't bring you this far to leave you. Heaven equipped you to recognize the moment. You are not crazy for believing something greater is here. That's your spirit responding to divine activity. And while others wait for physical proof, you already feel the spiritual pressure rising. Pressure always comes before birth. The discomfort is not punishment, it's preparation. You don't need to beg anymore. You don't need to strive anymore. You don't need to hustle to be seen. When the angels move, divine order begins to take its place. People are drawn to you differently. Conversations start shifting. New ideas flow naturally. Things that used to drain you now repel you. That's not just maturity, it's elevation. That's what happens when you step into rhythm with heaven. If you feel like you're losing certain connections, don't chase them. The angels are editing your environment. The people who were tied to the previous version of you cannot comprehend where you're going. And that's okay. Release them in love. Bless them. But don't anchor yourself to what's expired. This season is too pivotal. You must travel light to ascend. You must move in step with the Spirit, not the crowd. And as you do that, one small act of obedience at a time, you begin to feel something else. Clarity, confidence, conviction. You know what to say. You know where not to go. You're less reactive, more discerning. That's what angelic presence does. It doesn't just protect you from harm. It grounds you in wisdom. It makes the spiritual real, and it places divine awareness at the forefront of every decision. This is a holy time, not because everything looks perfect, but because everything is being prepared. Your job is not to understand every step. Your job is to listen, obey, and move when prompted. Just like the angels, just like the messengers that were sent before you. They don't question, they execute. They don't resist, they respond. That is your posture now. This is what it means to walk in divine synchronization. Your steps no longer feel random. Your path no longer feels lonely. Your actions begin to echo eternity. That's alignment. That's favor. That's the life the enemy tried to convince you you'd never have. And now, you're being invited to live it. Chosen one. You've crossed a spiritual line. Things will not feel the same anymore. Not because something is wrong, but because your discernment has evolved. Your eyes are open wider. Your senses are heightened. What once felt comfortable now feels constrained. You can no longer tolerate the weight of what doesn't belong to your destiny. And that's a good thing. That's a holy thing. The angels didn't start moving to keep you where you were. They started moving because it's time to elevate. Some of the resistance you're experiencing now isn't coming from the outside. It's coming from within. The old version of you is wrestling with the new one. The flesh is pulling against the spirit. Your human mind wants predictability, safety, logic, but your spirit knows this shift cannot be explained. It must be followed. Heaven's movement rarely makes sense at first, but it always leaves confirmation in its wake. And if you follow it, even trembling, you will find yourself in spaces you never dreamed possible. You're not waiting on the move of God. The move has already begun. The only thing that's left is your full agreement, your radical yes, your release of control. When you stop trying to navigate the shift and surrender to it, you'll discover that the path has already been made clear. The provision was never missing. It was just waiting on your obedience. You are now being guided by more than logic. You are being guided by unction, that gut feeling, that divine nudge, that sense that you must do this, even if it scares you, even if it stretches you, even if no one else understands it. That's the inner whisper of heaven echoing through your intuition. And if you follow it, the angels will go ahead of you. The path will rise beneath your feet. The winds will start to carry you, not block you. This is the part where the supernatural becomes natural, the moment where divine patterns become your new normal, where synchronicities happen daily, where the right people start showing up at the right time without you striving for it. It's not random, it's the result of alignment. You're no longer trying to force outcomes, you're simply responding to the call, and the call is clear. Stay ready, stay in motion, Stay soft in heart, but firm in discernment. Be willing to walk alone for a moment, if it means walking in truth. Be willing to be misunderstood, if it means being obedient. Heaven is more concerned with your alignment than your image. Let go of the need to be liked. Embrace the desire to be aligned. Let your peace be your proof. Let your stillness speak louder than arguments. Let your consistency silence the doubt. You've already been approved. The angels would not move unless something was already signed in the Spirit. You are not chasing blessings. You are walking into fulfillment. That's why you feel pressure. It's the final stretch before manifestation. The moment when the atmosphere is the most tense, the most unpredictable, the most sacred. This is where many give up, but not you. You were built for this threshold. You were designed to walk through this gate with unwavering faith. Every prayer you whispered when no one saw, heard. Every tear you shed when you felt forgotten, gathered. Every sacrifice you made in secret, counted. The angels were never distant. They were collecting, protecting, and preparing. And now, they're moving. Which means what you've carried privately is about to manifest publicly. What you've longed for silently is about to echo loudly. Not for your ego, but for divine evidence. And you will no longer need to explain yourself. Your alignment will speak. Your fruit will speak. Your peace will speak. People will start noticing the change, not just in your circumstances, but in your presence. You'll walk into rooms and shift atmospheres, not because you said anything, but because you carry something. A weight, a light, a divine imprint. Because when angels walk with you, it changes how you show up. This is why the enemy fought so hard to discourage you. He didn't fear your potential. He feared your realization of it. He feared the moment you'd say yes. He feared the moment you'd stop waiting and start moving. He feared this moment because now you know heaven is with you. You are protected. You are chosen. You are aligned. There's no going back now. The road behind you is closed for a reason. The version of you that could live in fear, stay in confusion, or shrink in doubt, that version is gone. You've shed it. And what remains is a refined, awakened, spiritually attuned vessel, ready to carry the weight of glory. The angels are in motion, and now, so are you. Chosen one, you have officially entered the divine flow. Everything before this was preparation. Every tear, every battle, every delay, every breakthrough. It was all designed to teach your spirit how to listen, how to lean in, how to trust, and most importantly, how to align. Now, with the angels moving and heaven speaking, you are no longer walking by sight. You are walking by revelation. Things are going to start happening fast. Answers will come more quickly. Opportunities will unfold with less resistance. People will begin to speak your name in rooms you've never entered, not because of fame, but because of divine favor. The angels are creating connections that no human effort could orchestrate. They are going ahead of you, preparing hearts, opening doors, adjusting outcomes. What once felt impossible will begin to feel inevitable. This is not about luck. This is not about coincidence. This is the reward of alignment. You are not here by chance. You are here by assignment. And now, everything around you must begin to adjust to match the frequency of what you carry. That includes your relationships, your priorities, your environment, and even your own thoughts. You are no longer allowed to entertain self-doubt. That energy no longer fits in this season. You are no longer allowed to delay your greatness with excuses or fear. Your agreement with heaven demands courage. The angels haven't been dispatched for no reason. They are here because something monumental is on the brink of being released. Something connected to your purpose. Something your voice, your presence, your story is required for. You were never just meant to survive this life. You were meant to shift it, to move something, to break a chain, to speak a word, to activate a destiny in someone else just by being fully, unapologetically aligned. Feel the pace, feel the pull. Things are being drawn to you. Resources, allies, revelations. It's like gravity has shifted in your favor. But remember, this is not a season for passivity. Just because favor is flowing doesn't mean action isn't required. The angels are moving, but you must match their movement with obedience. When they nudge, you move. When they warn, you listen. When they confirm, you proceed. This is a divine dance, not a solo act. Keep your heart soft. Pride will block the flow. Entitlement will repel favor. Stay rooted in humility, but bold in your walk. This isn't the time to question your worth. If heaven has sent backup for your journey, then who are you to second-guess your place in the story? The divine believes in you more than you've believed in yourself. But not anymore. Now you know, now you see, now you rise. Let your routine match your revelation. Begin each day with intention. Speak only what aligns. Connect only where there's peace. Move only where there's purpose. Don't try to drag old habits into a divine season. Let go of what numbs you. Let go of what wastes your time. Let go of anything that delays the call. You are not random. Your voice is not random. Your gifts are not random. The pull you've been feeling isn't fantasy. It's divine memory waking up inside you. A reminder of who you were before the noise. A callback to what was placed inside you before you ever arrived here. The angels are only moving because you are ready, and you are. You've always been. You just needed the right moment. And this is it. The next time you feel overlooked, remember the angels see you. The next time you feel like giving up, remember you've come too far to stop now. The next time you feel like it's too late, remember heaven does not operate on human clocks. It operates on divine timing, and that time is now. So, chosen one, rise. Speak like one who is backed by heaven. Walk like one who is guided by angels. Love like one who knows they are protected. Move like one who knows their steps are ordered, because they are, and the angels are already in motion.